everybody, Patrick Gensel with AdventureTravelBuzz.com, and today I figured I would take a couple minutes, since I'm going to Joshua Tree, California next week, to go over what I take with me on a climbing trip that involves flying. So I'm going to pull up each of the pieces of gear that I think are important to talk about and go from there. So let's start with the climbing essentials, climbing harness. This is important to note. If you're a climber, you know this is a chalk bag. This is something you're going to want to put in a Ziploc bag or maybe even buy chalk when you get out to your destination. It makes a mess of your checked luggage, and if somebody checking your luggage doesn't know what they're looking at, they could get pretty nervous about a white powdery substance in a bag. So that's something to consider. There we have our cams, heavy. This is what makes traveling on a plane as a climber a pain in the butt. These heavy things, they take up your space and weight of your bag, your carry-on bag, or your checked bag rather. They take up the weight restriction pretty quick, so this is the major inconvenience of flying with climbing gear. Same thing here. Carabiners, quick draws, heavy. Add up real quick. Now this is going to be separate of your checked bag. This is just a Osprey Backpack that I put all of my climbing gear in. So I'll lay this flat inside of my duffel bag, and then use this when I get to my destination to carry my climbing gear around. Sleeping bag, 0 degree sleeping bag. Probably a bit overkill for this time of year in Joshua Tree, but I sleep cold, so I'm going with my 0 degree bag. Probably be more than warm in a 20 or 30 degree bag, but this is what I have, so this is what I'm working with. Climbing shoes, pretty standard fare. These are my 510 approach shoes. These will double as sneakers for the week, as well as descent shoes that I can carry on any climbs that require a different descent path than what I take up. We've got a Columbia base layer top, give me a little bit added warmth. The big thing with Joshua Tree is sometimes it can be windy, sometimes you can be climbing in shady areas and it gets chilly in those areas, so having extra layers is good. Here I've got another layering piece, first descent fleece. I've got a North Face soft shell here. The chances of rain are very slim this time of year in Joshua Tree, so this is more of a contingency plan than anything, and it also helps as a layering piece. The big important piece of gear for me while I'm out there is my puffy jacket. I've got a Columbia Omni Heat puffy jacket here. This is very useful at night and around the campfire when it gets chilly, because in the desert the temperatures drop really quick after dark, and this is definitely what's keeping me warm at that time of the day. Got a stuff sack here. Nice thing about this REI stuff sack is it's fleece lined, so it doubles as like a pillowcase or a pillow. I don't have it here, but I have a travel pillow that I usually stuff inside that stuff sack. Pair of Columbia climbing pants. They're lightweight, they dry quick. They don't smell too bad after extended use, so these are very good to have on a extended climbing trip. And like I said, they're light, so they don't compromise too much in the area of taking up too much weight in your bag. Pair of warm socks, maybe 2 pair, depend on how often you wear socks. I don't wear socks a lot. Usually wear slip-on shoes a lot, so I don't need them, but these are good if it's cold when you're sleeping. This is my Thermo sleeping pad. Adds insulation under your sleeping bag by putting a layer of air between you and the ground. It's also a lot more comfortable than sleeping on the hard ground, as many of you who camp or climb already know. I've got a Nalgene bottle. Usually take 1 or 2 of these so I can carry water for the day climbing. This is, for many of you who probably already know, a Jetboil Stove. It's a complete self-contained cooking system. The burner and everything fits right inside, attaches to the bottom, allows you to boil water. These are great to take along, but make sure you leave the fuel cells at home. You cannot fly with one of these, and chances are anywhere you're going, you're going to be able to pick up one of these fuel cells before, when you get there. So make sure you do not fly with this. They will not be happy with you. All right, this is something that will go in my carry-on, but this is just a battery pack that I can use for my phone or my camera, GoPro, just to get an extra bolt of juice. Usually I can get 2 or 3 charges out of this when it's full, so it's a useful little gadget to have when you're going to be somewhere where you're probably not going to have power for an extended period of time. This important headlamp, so you can see what you're doing in your tent. If you get out after dark rather, you want to have a good charged light, so make sure you have fresh batteries in this, as well as a second set of batteries at least while you're out there. This is my tent. This is a 2-person Marmot Ara tent. It's lightweight, so it's, like I said, it's not compromising a ton of weight and space in my checked bag, because remember, most airlines limit you to 50 pounds per checked bag, and generally it's $25 each way, so you want to keep your bag to just 1 if you can. Keep this trip. The whole concept of what I talk about in traveling is doing it cheaply and effectively. So keeping your checked baggage to 1 bag or less is definitely what we're shooting for here. And I've never had a problem on any of my climbing trips getting everything into 1 bag, so that is the goal. Usually they tip the scale rate at 49 pounds, but that's fair game. This is very important for any climber. It's the climbing helmet. Keeps your noggin protected from any falling rocks or falling pieces of gear, so this is very important to have. Then last but not least, this is another piece that takes up the most weight. It seems like all of the climbing gear is, of course, the heaviest. This is my 70-meter climbing rope, weighs about 10 pounds, so that's 1/5 of your pack weight right there. And if you're traveling with another person, you typically only need to take one of these, and that helps keep the weight to a minimum. So that is it for the majority of the gear that I'm taking. That is pretty much everything that's going in my checked baggage. My carry-on stuff will be my camera stuff, my couple pairs of clothes in a carry-on duffel, and any other electronics. Remember, you don't want to check any valuable electronics. You can't really get away with carrying on your climbing gear because it's just too heavy, and if somebody doesn't know what it is, they're going to consider it a threat. So you definitely want to, though, bring your electronics and any important documents on the plane with you in your carry-on luggage. And remember, most airlines allow you to have a personal item and a carry-on item. So for me, that's a backpack and a duffel, and I can get most of the clothes I need for a week in that duffel, along with my camera and laptop if I happen to be taking it. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me, patrick@adventuretravelbuzz.com. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you like what you see, if you're looking for any more adventure, outdoor, travel-related content. And check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/adventuretravelbuzz. Until next time, enjoy yourself and travel safe.